decided to do a little challenge. I've seen a few people do like 100 book challenge. I wanted to challenge myself to see how many books I could read in 1 year. So I have selected probably be more than 100. I have probably, I don't know, 120 right now that I've picked out. So maybe I'll do 150 book challenge. I don't know. I don't think I can do 100 or 150 in a year. I think that's kind of crazy, especially since I picked some pretty long books to go through. And what I wanted to do is just show you which ones I picked out. I picked these either because I've heard that they are classics and need to be read, and or they're the ones that I have. So if I don't have something on this list, it's probably because I don't have it or I've already read it maybe. You can tell me if there's some that I should take off that are just absolute dog water, or you can tell me, hey man, you need to add this to the list because this is like necessary. No particular order here. I'm literally just grabbing stacks. I just put a big old stack in a box here, and it's my 150 book challenge to read. So I'd love to try to get through this in a year if I could. Oh, I have two that aren't in here right now. I have one it's in my room because I'm reading it currently, and I'm almost done. I've got like, I don't know, a chapter or two left. I just fell asleep last night, couldn't make it. Started full-time work again doing construction, so pretty beat when I get home. So that's gonna put a little hindrance on how much I can get read or not read, because man, I just couldn't keep my eyes open. As much as I was loving it and wanted to, I couldn't. Anyways, that's The Genocides by Thomas Dish, which happens to be one of my new favorites. I love the way that he has written that. I love just the way it drew me in so quick and so easy, and I was just in the story and understood what was going on, no problem. It was nice. It was fresh, because sometimes you start a story and you're going like, what is going on? And it takes like chapters to get through, and you're like, dude, this writing style, I can't even comprehend what's happening. And that may just be me, and I may just be slow and not able to comprehend stuff, but and that's okay. Not everybody is a freaking wizard when it comes to reading. I have also Sci-fi, which I'm reading by Kathy Koje? Why can't I remember? Something like that. Anyways, I am only 2 chapters into that one, and that one drew me in real quick as well. So kinda okay. I'm only 2 chapters in. Kind of a weird writing style for me. There is, and I'm not good at doing reviews or anything like that, but this is just what I perceived. Kind of weird because the writing goes with like, there's like a really long run-on sentence and just commas like throughout, and I've kind of always been, I don't know, like there's a slight pause when you get to a comma kind of thing, and I know there's like a writing style to like get there, but like when it's like one after the other after the other after the other after the other after the other, I'm like they feel like incomplete sentences over and over again. So it's kind of hard to get used to so far. A little tough for me to read. Maybe I'm reading it too like grammatically correct. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it too like I'm pausing too much or whatever, and I should just read it more natural. I don't know, but it's really good. It's like super drawn me in, and I'm like, I want to know what's gonna happen. I want to know what's going on, but it's a little bit hard to read through fluidly. Like even the first page, excuse me, the first page, I was like, it sounds so weird the way it's written. But I know there's lots of different styles, and I know there's lots of ways that authors break rules in order to make things sound certain ways, or make a character do something or sound a certain way or things like that. So I just have to kind of go with the flow, I guess. I don't know. So Aliens 3, Alan Dean Foster. Aliens, Alan Dean Foster. Alien, like the first one is in here somewhere. We'll get to that. Alien Origins, Covenant. This is supposed to be the prequel. This is not by it is by Alan Dean Foster. Sorry, psych. ADF also, so I got 4 Alan Dean Fosters there on the list already. I love Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Covenant, Alien versus Predator, you know, all those. I love all those. A Scourge of Screamers. I don't know anything about Daniel Galui, but this cover looked interesting. I read the synopsis and it sounded really cool. Just something about it almost sounded like The Last of Us, something happening like The Last of Us. I don't know until I get into it. If you haven't played the game The Last of Us, there's people who get like infection, I guess you would say, and they just, it kind of takes over everything. They're screaming and all kinds of crazy stuff involved. By the way, HBO did The Last of Us, and it starts in like 2 weeks, so there's gonna be a new series to watch. So I'm super hyped for that one. So Paul Anderson I really love. I've read a few Paul Andersons, and I'm just excited to read some more. I really like the way he writes. He was a physics major, so he writes with some very technical things. So I don't know if this one's any good. I'm currently in the middle of this one, and this is short stories, so I've read a couple of them already. This one's supposed to be like a little bit more scary, horror type stuff. Not really so far, but the cover is freaking awesome, if you can see that. And it really sounded really good. So 2 of the stories so far, they're okay. You know, it was captivating enough to read through them, and so we'll see. So I have Tau Zero. I might have a couple more Paul Andersons. We'll see. I don't remember what I threw in here. I went through, if you can see behind me, the shelves are like all just destroyed right now, and there's books everywhere. And I got my 2 boxes today that I have to unpack that have 75 pounds of books in each one. So it's just like book-a-lanche here, just an avalanche of books everywhere. James Blish, The Star Dwellers. I don't know anything about this one. The back sounded cool. Aliens. The Earthen called them angels. They were the ultimate beings, creatures that had been alive since the beginning of the universe. But would they help Earth or destroy it? It's up to Loftus to find out. Together with Stevens and Dr. Langer, he sets out on a daring mission to unknown parts of the universe. And in deepest space, on the edge of their comprehension, they will encounter the angels, the Star Dwellers. So, sounded interesting. I know Blish is freaking phenomenal. I have some more Blish in here. This is A.A. Milne, who wrote Winnie the Pooh, if I'm remembering right. And this is Once Upon a Time. It's supposed to be like an adult fairy tale. So it has something to do with, or it just basically says, before the Princess Bride, there was Once Upon a Time. So I don't know if this is like tied into that in some way. I don't know. It looked good. People reviewed it and said it was good. It's supposed to be funny and all that at the same time. So yeah, why not? I'm also currently reading short stories of Stephen King, Night Shift. So Stephen King is one of my favorite authors. And I have read tons of short stories and a few novels. So I put a few more novels in here that we'll get to at some point. And but I'm also reading these as I go along. I don't know how many I'm into. I'm I don't know, 115 pages in, so whatever that is. It's pretty thick. So probably only like 4 or 5 short stories in, maybe less. So there's that. Some Lovecraft. The Tomb. I've read a few Lovecrafts, and this one, it's The Tomb and Other Tales. So there's a bunch of shorts in here, or small vignettes, whatever. So just wanted to read through those, even though they're short stories. I'll just count that as one. All right, H.G. Wells' Sleeper Awakes. This seemed really cool. Like somebody had, the guy has fallen asleep or been frozen. What was it? He's in a trance or something. And he's been asleep for more than 200 years, it says, since 1897. He wakes up in a crazy new world. So sounded really cool. Interesting. I'm sure many people have read that, and also this one, War of the Worlds. I've actually never read it. So H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. It's on my list. I have a lot of like ones that I should have read that I didn't. But I also have ones that I just want to read because I sound good and I like them. So Keith Laumer, Plague of Demons. I don't really know much about that. Another Alien Covenant. It is also Alan Dean Foster. Inferno, Jerry Purnell, Larry Niven. I've heard lots of good things about this. This is a really cool vintage cover. The Cosmic Rape by Theodore Sturgeon. Arthur C. Clarke, The Wind from the Sun. Arthur C. Clarke, Islands in the Sky. Roger Zelazny, Jack of Shadows. Zelazny, 4 for Tomorrow. Covers, I'm a sucker for covers, so I might just go, ooh, I want to read that. That looks good. So, which it may be absolutely just trash and a dumpster fire, but I want to read it, and I may regret it. This Immortal, I love this cover. I've wanted to read this one for a while. It's been on my TBR for a long time, and I've just kind of skipped over it as I'm picking other stuff over and over again, and I want to kind of put it to the list and make sure it's there. I'm not sure about this one. 13 French science fiction stories, bizarre, uproarious, chilling. It says on the back that they're an incredible feast of the bizarre and supernatural, so sounded interesting. It's edited by Damon Knight. There's a lot of authors in here that I don't really know. So I thought it'd be a cool chance to get to know some more people, as well as maybe read some very interesting, different types of stories. So cool little copy there. Third from the Sun by Richard Matheson. Richard Matheson did I Am Legend. So a bunch of shorts from him. Sounded really good as well. Space Opera by Jack Vance. So Jack Vance is a phenomenal author as well, and I have not read enough, so I threw a few in here. I kind of just picked them based on the cover, as well as reading maybe some of the blurb on the back. I don't know anything about this one. I don't know if anybody's ever talked about this one, so I threw this one in as a want to read. Siva, I don't know a thing about this. Thomas Dish, Camp Concentration. I can't find my other Thomas Dishes right now. I have I have shelves and shelves of books, and I know there's several in there that I want to read that I just haven't dug through yet, and I know there's some Dish in there. So when I find those, I may add those to the list, but this is the other one that I have, and it looks pretty good also. So since I'm loving genocides. Dream Master by Roger Zelazny. I've also heard this reviewed a few times, and have heard that it's excellent. So I think that might have even been on one of BookPill's old top 15, if I remember right. Plague from Space just looked really cool, like a genetic, cargo death plague type story. So I love anything set in space. Needle, Hal Clement. Very cool cover. It's kind of like a detective, strange, weird detective type science fiction story, so that sounded really cool. Wait. Oh, look at that. Well, I didn't even realize, but I have 2 Dream Master copies. So apparently I threw the other one in thinking that it looked really cool, and it does. So I will put one of those in, and the other one will go out. Neuromancer, William Gibson. I actually started this on audiobook a while ago. Hyperion, I've heard a million good things about this, and I have not read it yet. Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse 5. It's the only Vonnegut I think I picked out. I've heard several people say that it was very good, one of his best, so I think probably Moid over at Media Death Cult was the one I heard about it most at. Science Fiction, What It's All About. I'm also reading this one at the same time. It's just a interesting, detailed, explanation of what's happened in science fiction over the years. This probably came out in early 70s or something. 71. So, it's only up to that point, but still cool to read and check out. Fahrenheit 451, 451, 445, 451, however you want to say it. Earth Abides, George Stewart. The Year's Best Horror Stories. This one's series 2. I love this cover. This is the year's best horror stories, just by itself. And we got Richard Matheson in there and Robert Bloch and a few others. So that looks really good. Should be fairly easy to read. I just found a copy finally of Illustrated Man, so I'm very excited to read this one. Excellent cover on this one. Very cool copy. So stoked for that. Edge of Tomorrow. I only have the movie cover one, so but I love the movie, and I heard there's a sequel coming out. The Solarians, Norman Spinrad. I have not read any Norman Spinrad. This just looks really cool. The cover is freaking awesome. It's just a great, great, great cover. And so very interested in that one. Sign of the Labors or Labris. Margaret St. Clair. Looks awesome also. So I have not read that one either. Cities in Flight. James Blish. Blish again. Galactic Cluster. Death World Trilogy, Harry Harrison. So this is all three. This looks really cool. I like where the world is like out to get you or whatever, and he's hard to survive, killer planet type stuff. So that looks cool. I heard from Fit to Be Read that Armor was one of the great like military type first contacts, alien bug type novels. So that looked really cool. This is a big boy, so I hope it's good. Stone God Awakes by Philip Jose Farmer. I don't have too many Philip Jose Farmer books in here, so I just thought I'd throw one in that looked the most interesting to me. And I may have another one, I don't remember. Martian Chronicles, Ray Bradbury. Classic. Absolute classic. Forever War, Joe Haldeman. So this is a well-known book as well that I've never got around to reading. So there's that copy of Alien that I'm looking forward to reading. And then also Frankenstein. I've never got around to reading Frankenstein either, and this is a really cool cover and hardcover as well. I still got a lot more. Starship Troopers. I love the movie. Should love the book, I would guess. Censored. Glory Road. Wouldn't want to get restricted here. It's yeah. Into the Out of. Simak Destiny Doll. I don't know anything about this one. The Gods Laughed. First Contact story. So another Paul. Three Worlds to Conquer. Jupiter. Ganymede and Earth. James White. The Watch Below. This one's called Lifeboat. Heinlein, Stranger in a Strange Land. Resident Evil, the first one. Umbrella Conspiracy, S.D. Perry. I love Resident Evil and pretty much all things Resident Evil except for the new movie on Netflix, which sucked. I cannot stand it. Just hate the horrid. Dude, it's horrid. Eaters of the Dead. I'm pretty sure this is the one that the 13th Warrior is based off of, if I remember right. This is the illustrated edition. Kind of cool. The Syndic. C.M. Kornbluth. Damon Knight says in his opinion, The Syndic is Kornbluth's best novel. So in his short but brilliant career, if I remember right, Kornbluth died pretty young. I actually have a lot of Conan, a lot of Tarzan, a lot of gore. What else? Like tons of like Viking ones and things like that. I grabbed this one out of all those because this one said horror fantasy. So I thought it's probably not horror in the way that I'm thinking it's horror, but it's probably supposed to be like monsters and fantasy. And so, and I do like Conan, and I want to read all the Tarzans and all the Conans and all that stuff. So I figured I'd just kind of see how that one was. It's not the same as Conan. It's different. It's Black Canaan from the creator of Conan. So we'll see. Frederick Pohl, The Gold at the Starbow's End. This one I also wanted to try. I have not read any Frederick Pohl yet. I have probably 10 to 15 of his, just off the top of my head. And then Cordwainer Smith's first novel, The Planet Buyer. I picked this up at a little shop. Red Mars, Kim Stanley Robinson. I only have this first book in the trilogy. I've heard great things about the whole trilogy, so I'll start with this one, and then I'll just pick up the other ones if I love this one. All right, one I'm super excited about: A Case for Conscience. I just got this one recently. I have, you'll see in a minute, Black Easter, which is the last two books in this 4-part series. The second one, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's like Mr. something or Dr. something, or I don't remember. It's something, something, something. And if I can think about it, I'll put it on there. This is the first one. Then there's Black Easter has the last two in it. Or no, sorry, not, maybe it's not called. Well, I'll tell you when I get there, because Black Easter, I think, is the third book. And then the book that I have has both Black Easter and the fourth book in it. I can't remember. I'll show you when I get to it. Drawing a blank, but this is the first one. I don't know really anything about Olaf Stapleton at all. So this book looked really cool, looked really interesting. Has to do, I think, with a dog that has been born with the mind of a man. So just weird experimental things start happening. That sounds really cool. Shirley Jackson, The Haunting at Hill House, or of Hill House. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Jack Finney. Stir of Echoes. I'm really happy that I got this. I got this from Matt at Bookpilled, and this was on one of his whatnots a long time ago. I have never got around to reading it. I'm very glad I got it, and I really want to read it. So I may put this one up towards the starting point. The Light That Never Was, Lloyd Biggle Jr. I don't know anything about this. I really, 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 really like the cover. I've sold this one several times. I kept kind of the crappiest one for myself because I don't really collect DAWs, even though there's a massive pile of DAWs behind me. Those are for whatnot. I don't specifically collect DAWs, and I know a lot of people do, so I try and get rid of the better looking ones for those people who might want it for a collection. Lucifer's Hammer, Niven Purnell. Orphans of the Sky. This is the one, I think, where they are traveling in a spaceship and it gets stranded, and then society just kind of degrades because everybody's trapped on the spaceship, and things ensue. Larry Niven Ringworld. There's a whole Ringworld series. This is the first one. There's like Ringworld Thrones, Ringworld Engineers. There's 4, maybe 5. Fantastic Voyage. This is what Inner Space was based off of, I believe, with Martin Short and the other guy. Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. I've heard a lot about this. Ooh, that just reminds me. I was going to buy Flowers for Algernon today. I've never read that. But I did watch this movie called Charlie back in the day. And I just saw a cover on Flowers for Algernon that I think had the cover of Charlie, the movie. And that movie has stuck with me forever since I watched it. I loved it. It was amazing. And if that's the same book, I'm super stoked to read that one. So if anybody has seen that and they know that Charlie is that's the movie from Flowers for Algernon, let me know. And I haven't watched it since I was probably... seriously, I haven't watched it since I was probably 15 or 16. And it affected me then, big time. So Brave New World, anyway, it has nothing to do with that one. But I did throw that in my eBay cart today because I've never come across it or seen it. So I kind of wanted to grab it. I Am Legend, Richard Matheson. I'm very stoked to read this one. I have a hardcover copy also. Not sure which one I'm going to use to read with. And then Death Tour. This is one of the paperbacks from hell. If you've ever seen that book, it's like a list of all the different paperbacks that are like horror stories from, I think mostly from 80s-ish era. This is right on the front cover. Looks really cool. I enjoy campy horror too, so if it's nice and cheesy and just filled with horror goodness, then I'm in. This is a lot of books. So think about it. If there's some that you see that just absolutely suck, tell me. I'm sure I have more than 100 here. I had 100 at one point, or like 98 or something, and I think I threw like 5 or 6 more in. And then I forgot that I didn't add my Stephen King ones, which are up there because I was organizing them by order that they were written. And so I put a bunch of them back up, and I had pulled off like 5 or 6 to throw into this pile too. So top Stephen King recommendations, maybe. I have not read Pet Sematary. I love the movie. It's the first horror movie that I watched and I loved. So Pet Sematary is going to be one of them. Old Man's War, John Scalzi. Anyways, this is like the third time I've done this. I saw someone review this. I think it was Shades of Orange on the top 5 like sci-fi books to start with, or sci-fi books to like get introduced to sci-fi with, or something like, or maybe the top 5 military sci-fi. I don't remember what it was, but. And I don't know a single thing about Neil Asher other than the name seems really familiar, that it's popped up a bunch of times, but I can't put my finger on anything having to do with Neil Asher. But this is Dark Intelligence. It's the only Neil Asher book that I have. And it's Transformation Book 1, so it's part of a series, it seems like. Maybe you guys have read some of these. Maybe you know a little bit more. I don't. So thought I'd throw it in there to just sink my teeth into it. Floating Dragon, Peter Straub. I have probably 15 or so Peter Straub books, somewhere around there. Connecticut and King Arthur's Court, Mark Twain. It's a kind of a time travel one. And Blindside by Peter Watts. So this has reached the top of many people's #1 list. Some didn't make the top, 1, but it was in the top like 5 or so. So I have wanted to read this one for a while. Hey, bonus little. See if this works. Does that work? Is that good? Am I close? Go a little more. Let's see. Yeah, that's creepy. Okay. Oh, I wonder what this is from. Later, another staff member, Scarlett Diaz, took the skates for a spin and made it all the way down to Starbucks. Our staff is heavily caffeine dependent, on the wheels. Only then, upon re-entering our office, did she run into a wall. Talk about big dork energy, huh? I don't know what that's from. We'll see. The world may never know. The Martian, Andy Weir. Love the movie. Heard the book is absolutely incredible. I don't know anything about this one. Have Spacesuit Will Travel, Heinlein. I have a lot of Heinlein, tons and tons of Heinlein. I know a lot of people don't like Heinlein for the person that he was, like his character or things that he like believed in or wrote about. I haven't come across anything that I've read that I was like, wow, this guy's a dirtbag, I don't want to read him. So I don't have that bias yet against Heinlein. You guys can feel free to tell me how much of a dirtbag he was. That's fine. Time Machine, H.G. Wells. I can't even remember what other H.G. Wells are in there right now. Okay, here's another Peter Straub ghost story. I've heard that there's a movie based on this, and it was really good too. But a lot of people say this is excellent. Altered Carbon. If it's anything like the first season on Netflix, I'll probably like it. The second season, I didn't like, but maybe just because I don't like Anthony Mackie. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I just don't want to watch him in anything. So I really enjoyed the first season on Netflix, and so I'm hoping the book is good too. Roadside Picnic. This is also one that's been on the top of many people's lists. This was originally written in Russian by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky, and in my best Russian accent, I know a little bit of Russian, so translated by Elena Bormashenko. And this one is an updated translation, I think. Ooh, somebody's sell your books at sellbackyourbook.com. The Road, Cormac McCarthy. I've heard this is just absolutely devastating. I saw the movie. I didn't really love it or anything. It was saddening. It was, difficult. It was like, man, this is, bleak. But which may be the purpose of that book. Paul Anderson, Orion Shall Rise. I have so many Paul Anderson books. It's not even funny. It was hard to pick one. A lot of them are in series, so I'm pretty sure this one is not. I'm pretty sure this is separate. This has to do with men needing to rebuild civilization after a nuclear kind of holocaust. So sounded really cool. Peter Watts, Beyond the Rift. I know he's a marine biologist, and so he's written a lot of things having to do with undersea type deals. I have Maelstrom. Oh, I have no idea where it is right now. Which is the second one in a trilogy, I believe, and Starfish is the first one. I don't have Starfish yet. Otherwise, I probably would have thrown it in here. But I'm pretty sure this is standalone, so I'm gonna read that one. Gateway by Frederick Pohl. I talked about one book earlier that I had from Frederick Pohl. I don't know anything about this one at all. Just looked really, really cool. The Foundation Trilogy by Isaac Asimov. This one has been, I don't know, I haven't really had a huge interest in wanting to read it. I think this one made the list because I feel like I'm supposed to. Like I have to read this at some point. And I've heard that people, when they read it, go, I'm really glad that I read it. It was, important. So this is the whole trilogy in one shot. So we'll count that as one book. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, Philip K. Dick. I only have a couple that I've kept of Philip K. Dick. Mechanical for Leibowitz. So I've heard mixed reviews that this is phenomenal, and some say it's just kind of boring and slow. So we will see, but I definitely want to read it. Here's the one I was thinking of earlier. So the one with Black Easter in it. Okay, Devil's Day, James Blish. So this one has Black Easter and The Day After Judgment in one volume. So I don't remember what the the other one is. That's number 2 in that. Jack Vance, The Demon Princess. I'm pretty sure this is a complete novel of all 5 books in one. Star King, The Killing Machine, The Palace of Love, The Face, The Book of Dreams, all in one shot. I have a lot of those by themselves. This may be a tough one to finish fast. This is a really big one, has 5 novels in one, so we'll see. But it may go really quick. I don't know. Stand on Zanzibar. This one is also a big, thick, chunky boy. And just a masterwork collection here. I don't know much about Jack McDevitt, but when I started buying sci-fi books and sort of collecting them, this was one of the very first ones that I got. I've had it on my shelf forever. And I bought it because I liked the cover. I liked the way it looked. I liked the name. I liked what was possible about a space disaster on some distant planet. That all appealed to me. So same with this one, Liege Killer. I don't know anything about this. I think this cover is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of my favorite covers. I don't know much about Christopher Hines, but I think this is a Ken Barr cover. Looks really cool. I'm hoping it's really good. Sometimes you buy things for covers and you don't know anything about it, and you just assume that it's good, or it has, like, in your mind, that's a good book. And then you read it and it absolutely sucks. And then the cover's a little bit ruined. So sometimes I don't read books because I don't want to ruin the cover. Integral Trees. I was trying to buy this on Whatnot, and then I found it like literally 2 days later. I gotta avoid buying stuff because specifically on platforms like Whatnot or eBay or things like that, because I end up finding them seriously like within the next day or two. 2001: A Space Odyssey. This one is on my list because I feel like I have to. I think it's an important one that needs to be at least read once. I don't know if this is based on that new movie that came out, Moonfall. Jack McDevitt. This is another one. The movie was kind of crap, but it was also kind of fun at the same time. I don't know. I'm a sucker for anything space. I'm a sucker for anything like space disaster, space exploration, space horror. Oh, if I could have more of that. Stuck in a spaceship, traveling somewhere, disaster, journey to the center of the earth. Jules Jern. Jules Jern. It's a new author. You haven't heard of him yet. Jules Jern. Jules Verne. Dream Park by Larry Niven and Steve Barnes this time, not Purnell. I have like Dream Park, Return to Dream Park. There's like another one that's after Dream Park. I just imagine this is just like Jurassic Park, but I'm probably wrong. That there's just crazy imagination filled adventures filled with imagination. Stars My Destination by Alfred Bester. And then the last one I have here, Nostrolia. I've heard several people say this is very good. Crazy, wacky, nutty, psychotic, goofy, whatever descriptive adjective you want to throw in there. It is bonkers and crazy and all that fun stuff. I actually have this, and it is right there still. The paperback copy of it. Should I get rid of one? I don't know. I don't like to keep two of the same thing because I have so many freaking books. Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. Anyways, that's my list for now. I have at least 100 here. If you've made it this far and you have some suggestions, please let me know of what to add to this or take away. I have 2 boxes here that I need to unwrap that'll be coming up in some videos, and I haven't even opened them yet. I've started my reading for the year already, and I will maybe keep updating on which books I've finished, or maybe I'll even do a couple reviews. I'm not a good reviewer. I'm not as far as I know. I'm not a super well-spoken book intellectual, as you can tell by me saying a lot, and a lot, and a lot. All right, I gotta go to bed. It's getting late. It's already like past 11 or something, and I gotta get up early, and I want to read, so I gotta go. All right, I'll catch you later.